Dr. Driscoll, this is commentary because I mean I have a lot of stuff I was going to talk about anyway, but this is about Samantha Lux. If you don't know who she is, if you do know who she is, she's a trans woman who said some stuff about the Dave Chappelle special. And the only reason I know about her is because Abba Preach talked about her. I do want to say this to, you know, any people out there, the Samantha Lux thing, the Abba Preach thing. I mean, both of them have some things that are right, all right? I'm not gonna sit here and always take one side. I love hearing both sides of a story in order to make an informed opinion. And same thing here, I just want to say a couple things about. First off, for Samantha Lux, she sent out her opinion first. Abba Preach, I guess, commentated over her opinion, and then she commentated over their commentary over her opinion, which is commentaryception. So I thought it was fair that I would go and watch her first video full all the way through because, you know, Dave Chappelle asked for people to watch his special through before they made a commentary on it. She did that. So I wanted to go through to see what she was talking about that we missed. So I watched it, and honestly, it's hard to get through. It was really hard to get through more. Fucking words right.
That
It's hard to get through, mostly because of the butthurt that she feels. All right, do understand when you're the butt of the joke, sometimes it's not funny. For me, obviously, you know, if you can't make fun of yourself, then you just probably don't have a sense of humor. I've been flamed for looking 50, and I am 29. Damn! Most of the time, you know what I mean. Some guys don't like that. Some guys don't like to be called ugly. Some guys have a lot of guys have insecurities. I have insecurities. She even stated in her video where she's getting surgery done to herself that some of those insecurities popped up. And even when they're talking about how you got things, when Dave Chappelle's talking about how you got things done to yourself, she's kind of angry about that.
Free speech and self-expression. That's cute.
Now that's kind of scary because isn't that funny that trans people can have freedom and self-expression, have all the right to say anything they want to say about anyone else, and it's okay, but anyone can't say anything about them. And they're sitting there making it seem like they're the oppressed ones for hundreds of years, especially when a white trans woman is talking about a black male.
Ain't it funny how it happens?
People who are targeted are people who are targeted, right? So black people, trans people, they're kind of all in the same boat. I don't know why they're fighting amongst each other. When you're on stage, right? You're on stage, it is meant to be a comedy special. You're meant to go in, relax, and laugh at the shit that's on stage, right? Now, she's like, well, what you say on stage can be under the guise of, it can be hateful shit, and you're saying it on stage. I think we need to understand the areas where you're at, right? And she keeps talking about media and how media can be offensive in certain spots and this, that, and the third. I don't think you want to keep calling on media to say that it's always the media's fault, or that some kind of medium in media is fault. Because once again, that's like saying that video games are the reason why people do violent acts.
One post from Ethan Crumbley declares, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford." The quotation can be found in a gory video game.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Several years ago, Crumbley made this video showing off his collection of violent games.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, who are you talking to? You keep saying these things to black people, but you don't understand. There's been 400 years of that, all right? Like, you're not speaking, and then all of a sudden it's this whole fucking glorious new concept. The issue is, though, the idea that you're saying a comedy show where people are just telling jokes should not be that, all right? Now, she did get a gotcha moment in a sense with her second rebuttal over Abba Preach, and that is true in a sense. And I had to think about this. And I asked my queen, was there something wrong about what she said? Because I thought, you know, obviously since I'm a black person, is it okay to make fun of the stereotype of what we are as if it was fact compared to the reality as what you guys are going through? And that's the issue. Is I think you're missing the point of the attack of one being fictitious and the other one being reality. And that is kind of what this whole video boils down. This whole video boils down to, I feel sorry that my queen and I basically understood is essentially you're the punchline. Now that sucks. I completely could understand if you were just constantly the punchline, people constantly joking about what you are, but it's true. You're the punchline. And the issue is your lived experience is a reality though. It's not different. It's completely different from blackface. Blackface is putting on a caricature of what black people are. Does that make any sense? For example, you got work done on your body. You were a male in the beginning. You showed pictures of yourself, Samantha Lux, as a male in the beginning. Then over time, you became a female. So how is that the same as blackface?
I don't know.
You threw on a mask. I mean, it's makeup though. You know what I mean? But that's what your that identity is now. If someone threw on some shellac, some fucking, I don't know what the fuck they use, the black shit for their face, and was like, this is my identity, like, hey, nigga, show good time, you know, like, no. There's a completely different thing because you're doing a caricature of another thing you pointed out. You talked about how transracial was not a thing, but yet that's their lived experience. And your lived experience is of a female trapped in a male's body that do not see the nuance in what is happening here. The issue is for these trans, it's sadly, it all boils down to you're the punchline. I completely can understand when your whole lived experience can be seen as a joke to someone else. Not necessarily a joke as in you shouldn't exist or your lived experiences is minuscule, but more so as we can't understand what you're going through. So it's funny to us to see that, because if it was done in any other way, such as transracial, it's weird. It's wrong, right? Even for the trans community, they're like, transracial is wrong. Makes no sense because you're in the same boat. You're trying to live a lived experience of someone that you cannot live a lived experience of. For example, in your first special, you said...
In this arc, he basically says that trans women are not real women. Not in those words, of course, but he does make it very obvious that that is his opinion. And now when I say that trans women are women, I do not mean that trans women are the same as cisgender women. I do not mean to say that they have the same experiences or the same struggles, anything like that. But I am saying that we are both women.
No.
I love how you even try to downplay, like, hey, they got their own lived experiences. I can never understand it, but we're both women. No, you're not. Your trans rights are invasive most of the time, not really helpful to the women that you're proclaiming to be. For example, you want rights to play in like female leagues because you feel like a female. All you're doing is being a man beating the ever-loving shit out of females. There are trans women who are breaking female records. Trans men can't do that. I mean, I've never heard any like trans man doing it, but also about the Steven Crowder thing. You're not wrong that they did get upset about the Steven Crowder and the racist thing, but at the same time, like I said, here's what I was talking about with the spaces. Different spaces require different ways to go about it. He has a political show. Yes, you can make jokes on your show, but it's meant to be political. Racism in politics, like racist jokes in politics, is that what you want? Is that what you want fucking Joe Biden to get up there and be like, woo boy, all these crackers making my job hard? Like, is that like the proper place to do that? No, it's not. So I think there's a complete difference. I mean, we can obviously see eye to eye on some things. Like I said, I agree with you on their like little feeling of it, but at the same time, it's still different than your experience. Most trans people are the punchline. At the same time, you can't really compare blackface to your lived experience.